night, dragged away. More than 70 climate protesters arrested during a Flinders Street sit-in. 2 men granted bail after Victoria's biggest illegal steroid bust at a Port Melbourne gym. The opposition hits back following Daniel Andrews' candid reflections on his decisions as Premier. Hollywood remembers one of its own. Love story star Ryan O'Neill dies, aged 82. First on 9, one of Victoria's biggest gymnastics clubs in a fight for survival. And an Australian Open blow. An injured Nick Kyrgios uses OnlyFans to announce he's out.
This is Melbourne's 9 News with Peter Hitchener.
Good evening. Heavily armed police have dragged defiant climate protesters from the intersection outside Flinders Street Station after the activists staged a sit-in. The rally stopped traffic for several hours and caused big delays on the tram network. Reid Butler was there.
Drenched and determined, these demonstrators were sitting ducks.
Can I hand off my baggage?
Picked off one by heavily armed police.
We're peaceful, non-violent!
But the plan was to be disruptive, and they were. The Extinction Rebellion protesters staging a sit-in outside Flinders Street Station.
Are you willing to move off the road? This is your last chance.
We're not mucking about, so I'm quite happy to be arrested.
For others, it was a much harder call to make.
I'm still trying to decide about that because I've got a job where I'm a teacher and I need to have my working with children check. So if I'm arrested and charged, I won't be able to stay in my profession.
Earlier, the group of more than 300 marched from Treasury Gardens and then down Collins Street.
Oh, look, it's a bit inconvenient, yeah.
Trams were stopped in their tracks.
It's just really annoying. So they made me get out of the car and walk because I couldn't drive any further. What a nightmare.
The centrepiece of the display, this motorised effigy of a burning koala.
Pretty ugly, isn't it?
But the demonstration outside the station was the main event, the headline act from Extinction Rebellion, capping off a near week-long festival of troublemaking.
I'm here to support the idea of civil disobedience.
The activists were prepared for a situation like this. Each has been given a phone number, a kind of arrest hotline that they can call and someone will help them deal with police. It took about an hour to clear the intersection and get traffic moving again. The last protester removed from the road around 3 o'clock. For these agitators, this was a job well done.
Reid, how many people were arrested?
Well, Pete, police certainly had their work cut out for them, arresting more than 70 people, all though were released and slapped with a fine of close to $400. So an expensive exercise, that is for sure, a big drain on resources, but it was all well worth it, according to these protesters. And Pete, in good news for everyone else, this is the final event that we're aware of planned by the Climate Action Group, for the immediate future at least.
OK, thank you. Reid Butler reporting. 2 personal trainers have been granted bail accused of operating an illegal steroid operation through the post and a Port Melbourne gym. They're among 6 people arrested after police uncovered Victoria's largest haul of the performance-enhancing drugs. Emily Rice reports.
Muscle mates and full-time fitness trainers Nathan Williamson and Daniel Tanais are accused of running a mega steroid syndicate.
This type of drug investigation is currently the largest of its type in Victoria.
Arrested in Docklands yesterday, police allege the former champion bodybuilders were selling illicit performance-enhancing and prescription drugs online using the postal service to distribute them.
This syndicate has been distributing illegal steroids across the eastern board.
During a search of their South Wharf Drive apartments, officers seized a stash of illegal steroids, other prescription medications and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. Vials of what are believed to be steroids were also found at this Port Melbourne gym where both men work.
We found a distribution centre set up where there's probably around in excess of $100,000 worth of illegal steroids.
Another 3 people were also arrested in the Australian Capital Territory in relation to the roid raids.
They were using the postage system to distribute the drugs. They were using an encrypted online application to market and sell the drugs.
Luxury vehicles and designer goods were also seized. Investigators are still estimating the street value of the illicit substances, but say it could be in the millions of dollars.
I expect it to be in the seven-figure range.
Both of the accused have been granted bail on very strict conditions, including that they don't associate with one another, but both can continue working full-time in their personal training jobs. They will reappear in court in April. Emily Rice, 9 News.
A man in his 50s has died after the Ford Ranger he was in with his family lost control and crashed into a concrete bridge at Lancefield, north of Melbourne, early this morning. 2 women aged in their 40s and 50s were airlifted to hospital, while a second man in the vehicle sustained lower body injuries. Police are investigating if speed and alcohol were factors. The opposition leader says Victorians are paying the price of the former Premier's legacy. He made the comments after Daniel Andrews denied the public service had been politicised, while also taking aim at corruption watchdogs. Dougal Beattie explains.
In a rare sit-down, the former Premier shedding light on life after politics.
I've got nothing to do, but I'm very, very busy. Lots of stuff around the house and a bit of golf and catching up with a few friends.
It was a more candid Daniel Andrews speaking on the Socially Democratic podcast, reflecting on his big decisions and the vitriol that followed the pandemic lockdowns.
Mate, I locked people in their homes for 2 years. I know that. And I know that, dictator and all this sort of stuff, that's all fine. And if that makes people feel better by describing me in those terms, look, good luck. In Victoria, the haters hate and the rest vote Labor.
But when asked about recent criticism by former IBAC Commissioner Robert Redlich over integrity issues, Daniel Andrews hit back.
They have opinions and views, and they're more than entitled to those. But I'll tell you what they're not entitled to be. They're not entitled to pretend that anyone voted for them.
The comments coming after an Ombudsman's report last week warned of a creeping politicisation of the public service.
There's plenty of people that have got Liberal Party tickets, or at least used to, that are playing senior roles. I know them well, I respect them, I appointed them.
Insisting bureaucrats aren't afraid to give frank and fearless advice.
I had the most senior public servant at the very first meeting, literally we'd only just been sworn in, tell me, oh no, you're going to have to build the East-West Link. And I said, well, no, I'm not.
Daniel Andrews faces criticism because of the way he governed Victoria badly. That's why people are frustrated.
A new poll also reveals support for the Allen government has dipped, but Labor still has a strong lead over the coalition.
Turning things around after a government has been in office for 9 years does take some time, but I'm confident that we're headed in the right direction.
Dougal Beattie, 9 News.
A worker remains unaccounted for and 2 are still in hospital after fire tore through a computer paint factory in Dandenong South. The blaze erupted just before lunchtime yesterday on Superior Drive, taking 9 hours to bring under control. 2 firefighters injured on duty have been released from hospital. The cause of the blaze still unknown. Labor is set to announce its highly anticipated migration strategy aimed at reducing arrivals to ease pressure on housing, infrastructure and the cost of living. Reece D'Alessandro tells us it's expected to target international students rorting the system.
A Saturday smile after a long week in Parliament.
Good morning.
Prime Minister gearing up for good news in the week ahead.
The new migration strategy we'll announce this week will bring migration back to sustainable levels.
Down from a predicted peak of more than 500,000 people in the last 12 months, the highest in history, putting pressure on infrastructure, housing and the cost of living.
The horse has already bolted. Not only can he not catch it, he can't even find it.
Pre-pandemic, net overseas migration boosted the population by almost 240,000 people. Mid-pandemic, those numbers slowed, then reversed due to border closures. Post-pandemic, a catch-up, but one that's far exceeded expectations.
The numbers are unprecedented. We've never had net migration at these sorts of levels.
The majority here to learn.
60% of the net migration is students.
But not all are genuine.
In some cases, the system is being abused.
Labor's strategy set to include a further crackdown on dodgy education providers, enhanced English-speaking requirements for foreign students, and the scrapping of student visas for some low-end, short courses outside the university sector.
We want to make sure that our population is sustainable.
And while the Prime Minister stopped short of giving sustainable and exact number, his government's intergenerational report assumed a figure of 235,000 people per year, and Nine News understands this new strategy will aim for the same.
Whenever net migration gets to about 300,000, problems start to occur. Fundamentally, no one's ready for 300,000 and can't cope.
When you've got a rental crisis, you've got a housing crisis, people can't see the GP. It's a mess of the government's own making.
Reece D'Alessandro, 9 News.
A former immigration detainee has been arrested by the AFP in Melbourne's inner west, making him the 6th asylum seeker to allegedly break the law following a High Court ruling. The 36-year-old Eritrean national has been charged with breaching a curfew set out in his visa conditions, and he's been remanded in custody. The US has vetoed a ceasefire plea at the United Nations, insisting it would not make a difference on the ground in Gaza. But there's some hope the fighting could ease in the new year. Jonathan Kersley has the latest.
Inside Gaza, gunfire from Israeli soldiers is relentless. This is a school. Israel's military says it has tunnels used by Hamas, while more airstrikes flattened more buildings. And in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza, the new front. A paramedic holds a lifeless baby. It's claimed here 15 members of one family died. And the humanitarian crisis is growing.
About half of the population in Gaza are starving.
The Palestinian Authority claims more than 17,000 Palestinians have died, including 7,000 children and 43,000 people injured. Almost 2 million are now displaced. Lighting candles for Hanukkah. Israel's defence minister said Israel has light, Gaza darkness.
There is a high risk of the total collapse of the humanitarian support system in Gaza, which would have devastating consequences.
At the UN, the United Arab Emirates pushed for a ceasefire. It was backed by 13 of 15 Security Council members. The US vetoed, arguing the draft motion failed to criticise Hamas for the October 7 attack and would have had little impact on the ground.
We do not support calls for an immediate ceasefire. This would only plant the seeds for the next war, because Hamas has no desire to see a durable peace.
That peace, the US insists, involves a two-state solution.
The true path to ensure peace is only through supporting Israel's mission.
This war is part of the assault to end the Palestinian people.
In Washington, D.C., the man who's pushed the diplomatic mission through the Middle East met Arab leaders. There are now reports Israel's so-called high-intensity phase of this war could end in another 6 to 8 weeks. The US says it is also concerned about the humanitarian situation in Gaza and wants more aid in. So today sent more supplies to Egypt. Beyond that border in Gaza, the fear now is from not just the horrors of war, but also famine and disease that could mean more lives lost. In the United States, Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
Hollywood heartthrob Ryan O'Neill is being remembered as a legend of the silver screen following his death aged 82. The Oscar nominee was best known for breakout roles in the 1970s, while his personal life often hit the headlines. Vicky Jardim compiled this tribute.
Ryan O'Neill, a leading man and 70s icon. A fast-paced career and racy private life, Ryan O'Neill well known for his relationship with blonde bombshell Farrah Fawcett and at times estrangement from his children. The former Hollywood actor passed away on Friday. He was 82. His son Patrick sharing the sad news on social media. My father Ryan O'Neill has always been my hero. I looked up to him and he was always bigger than life. He is a Hollywood legend. Full stop. Originally, O'Neill trained to be a professional boxer, his big break coming in 1964 as Rodney Harrington in the television drama Peyton Place.
Come on, up it.
Best known for his Oscar-nominated performance in the romantic drama Love Story.
Jenny, I'm sorry. Don't.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
From there, the roles kept coming. What's Up Doc opposite Barbara Streisand.
What's up, Doc?
Did you happen to know that I love you?
Yeah.
You did? Do?
Listen, kiddo, you can't fight a tidal wave.
The 1973 hit Paper Moon, alongside his daughter Tatum O'Neill.
Just have to keep on veering, that's all.
Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon.
The horses made a clip-clop sound, and it hurt the dialogue in the carriage. So he had the crew pull the carriages along the highway.
Off-screen, an encounter with American actress Farrah Fawcett.
And there she was in the driveway. My God, she was breathtaking.
Really?
Who's that? He said, that's my wife.
O'Neill and Fawcett went on to have a long-term on-off relationship, who he dearly called his forever Valentine. He hit the headlines for his, at times, tumultuous relationship with his children.
Where were you, Dad? Where were you at that party? You were at the beach
In those
house.
days, I used to just put my head in the sand.
Diagnosed with leukemia in 2001 and prostate cancer 11 years later, O'Neill passed away surrounded by family and friends. Vicky Jardim, 9 News.
Tens of thousands of people have flocked to Bondi Beach in Sydney today, with temperatures in some parts of New South Wales topping 43 degrees, the city's hottest December day in nearly 2 decades. At least 90 bushfires are burning across the state, fuelled by hot northwesterly winds. A cool change is expected this evening. Tennis star Nick Kyrgios has used OnlyFans to reveal he's withdrawn from next month's Australian Open. With his career now at the crossroads, it'll be the 5th straight Grand Slam he's missed through injury. More from Brayden Ingram.
He always does it his way. Still, only Nick could use OnlyFans for an announcement like this.
This is a very disappointing time for me, but yeah, I won't be able to compete at the 2024 Australian Open.
A long-running struggle with injury consigning Kyrgios to the stands for a second straight Aussie summer.
Had that knee surgery and came back a little bit too soon and set me back a little bit, then obviously had some wrist issues, heartbreaking. You know, I've had so many amazing memories there.
He managed just one official match for the entire year. Still, the showstopper is determined to come back with a bang.
I just want to really get back to playing at the top of my game and doing it right, and I need a little bit more time. You know, I was so close to winning a Grand Slam. I want to make sure that my body's going to have the time it needs to come back.
But at 28 years old and with no timeline for his return, questions will be asked whether he'll ever reach the same heights. The absence of one of the AO's headline acts leaves a huge hole, particularly on the Aussie front. Organisers will now hope Alex de Minaur and Isla Tomljanovic can fly the flag deep into the tournament. So while he won't be able to hit the court at Melbourne Park, he's set to make as much noise as ever.
I still will be around commentating matches, being around. I've got some special things planned.
Brayden Ingram, 9 News.
Now with a look ahead to more sport, here's Alicia Muling.
Thank you so much, Pete. Coming up tonight, the Bombers foreshadow some big changes ahead of a new season. And it's not just their defensive issues in line for a revamp.
It'd definitely be me as well. We're going to have to give and take. I think we've got probably 6 or 8 guys now that we want to build to be elite players. I think we need to give the space for those guys to grow as well.
Also tonight, a top draft pick turns heads at Waverley. The NBA weighs in on the Josh Giddey allegations and why the fire still burns for an Aussie veteran as a new era begins for our women. Plus another honour for Melbourne's F1 rising star. That's all coming up. Pete?
OK, thank you, Alicia. Ahead in Melbourne's 9 News, cheating death, a tree obliterated by lightning seconds after a driver walked away. Plus, a man charged after a woman was hit by a car in St Kilda. And no vacation from healthy eating, the school holiday warning to parents.
Get ready for 100 special events.
Merry Christmas!
Sunday at 7, the stars are out for Christmas. And when Mrs. Claus comes to town, Santa's secrets will be exposed.
My husband is well into his 70s and still working.
I've also heard he's got a second family in Darwin.
The 100 Christmas Special. Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 Now.
Steve! That's gone.
Did someone say KFC?
How can I help you today?
I just didn't know who else to call.
It's all right, Kate.
I told Alex we can't afford Christmas. We can't even afford another night in the van or anywhere.
Give the gift of hope to families living in crisis. Donate to the Salvation Army Christmas Appeal so nobody struggles alone.
Hey, Toddy! Todd!
Oh, should have gone to Specsavers. Health Fund members, head into Specsavers before December 31 for 30% off lens options. Head into your local Specsavers today.
What's that all about?
The Nick Scali 3-day sale is on this Friday, Saturday, Sunday with 20 to 30% off the entire range. 3 days only, 20 to 30% off the entire range at Nick Scali.
When it comes to fresh and cheap produce, look no further than Footscray Market, Melbourne's multicultural market. The iconic landmark is renowned for stocking a huge range of top-quality Australian fruit and vegetables. Seafood vendors pride themselves on offering delicious freshly caught produce. Then there's the thriving meat stalls that carry a huge range of beef, lamb, chicken, pork and more. And Footscray local MP Katie Hall is a market regular and loves meeting owner Mr P.S. Lee and the locals in the heart of her electorate. Shop fresh and cheap at Melbourne's multicultural market, Footscray Market.
The Cherry SUV sale event is on now. Great offers across the entire 2023 SUV new vehicle range. With the latest in design and technology, there's never been a better time to buy. Offer ends soon. Book a test drive today at cherrymotor.com.au.
9 News, brought to you by KFC. Coming in hot and crispy with Hot and Crispy Boneless.
A man who allegedly hit a woman with his car at St Kilda after an altercation yesterday morning has been charged. The 45-year-old was later arrested in Armidale and will face counts of dangerous driving and other traffic offences. The 36-year-old victim remains in a serious but stable condition in hospital, and detectives believe they are known to each other. A New South Wales man has a forgotten wallet to thank for saving his life. As Alex Heinke explains, he dodged death when lightning struck a tree next to his car.
With a storm hovering above Mudgee, Simon Somervale is in a rush. As he loads his car, he realises he's forgotten his wallet. Good thing too. Watch again as a lightning strike pulverises a nearby tree. The gum explodes, sending branches crashing down onto his car.
I heard this crack and like an explosion, like nothing I'd heard or felt before.
He returns in disbelief, realising he's just dodged a disaster.
I don't know if I would have got more injured having been in the car or standing next to the car hopping in, but either way, it wouldn't have been pretty.
His car, a Hyundai Getz, is injured. In fact, it's a write-off. The pictures highlight how close he came to danger. Simon is just happy he forgot his wallet.
Sometimes it's okay to forget things.
Alex Heinke, 9 News.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is seeking a 5th term in office. The 71-year-old told soldiers he plans to run again in next year's election, declaring now is the right time to make a decision. Putin is already the longest-serving Russian ruler since Joseph Stalin. Joe Biden has dodged questions over the raft of new charges faced by his son, Hunter. He's been hit with 9 in total, including failing to file and pay at least $1.4 million in taxes.
Mr. President, any comment on the new charges against your son, Mr. President?
Hunter Biden could spend a maximum of 17 years in jail if convicted. As the holidays approach, Australian researchers have discovered the extent to which children become unhealthier once school is out. They're encouraging parents to help their kids mimic the structure and eating habits of term time. April Cretan has more.
The
The summer holidays are getting underway, and siblings Reese and Tessa can't wait.
The holidays are my favourite.
Freedom from the classroom, but also from all the rules. A new study by UniSA finding just how unhealthy the holidays can be.
We tracked 380 children across 2 years, and we basically found that children gain weight quite rapidly and lose fitness rapidly in the school holidays.
It doesn't surprise me that kids are putting on weight in the holidays. Everyone's zero routine.
Mum Elsa.
As a busy mum, we've got so many things to do in the holidays. There's Christmas to get ready for, so it is hard to monitor what the kids are doing all the time.
Increased screen time, skipping breakfast and snacking, and reduced physical activity, the main contributing factors.
The problem has been increasing over recent years. 1 in 4 Australian children now obese or overweight.
One of the most effective things that parents can do is be a great role model for their children. Look for opportunities to get out and go for a walk together, go for a bike ride together.
It's hard to get motivated sometimes, but I think that setting the initiative is really the only way to do it.
Even eating healthy meals in front of your children can influence their habits, as well as encouraging fun, physical activities around the home.
Finding the balance in keeping them active and the downtime is about making it really fun. So having a break, doing something completely different from what they do at school all year.
April Cretan, 9 News.
Madeline Spark joins me now. It's been cool and wet, Maddie.
Absolutely, it has been, Pete. A complete turnaround from yesterday. A system arrived late last night and it brought in much cooler southerly winds. Showers also increased in its wake and a band of persistent rain formed today. There were storms about this morning, then a few in the far east this afternoon. Since 9 a.m, the biggest rainfall totals have been in the Wimmera, with 30 millimetres falling near Neil. Closer to town, there has been 16 at Avalon. The city's recorded 10 millimetres and the temperature only managed to climb 1 degree from a low of 17 up to 18 degrees. But the weekend's not over and tomorrow is looking a little more promising, Pete.
That's good to hear. Thank you, Maddie. Still to come, flipping out. Fears one of Melbourne's biggest gymnastics clubs will be forced to fold. A resident flees a suspicious Truganina house fire. And a first look at reconstruction inside Notre Dame, 5 years after the Paris landmark was damaged by fire.
Well, it's going to be entertaining. We're about to get underway.
All eyes of the world are set.
Showtime.
For summer's greatest show.
The fans love it. That'll get the juices flowing.
You feel it, everybody watching. The pressure's on and cracking is not an option. I'm going hard every second, every minute with
what a shot.
To the limit. Step this moment, nobody's stopping. All eyes on me.
It's game on.
In Melbourne.
For action-packed.
Come through with the goods.
Raw power.
How good is that?
And pure passion.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
9 summer of awesome will grip the world. Who will be champion? The Australian Open, Jan 14 on 9 and 9 Now.
Following their surprising success, Steamhunk are planning a multi-city world tour, playing 5 cities in 9 days. Manager Rodney has to book all the flights.
The budget's tighter than priceless leather pads.
So he's using Webjet, which compares flight combinations from hundreds of airlines worldwide, filtered by the cheapest, fastest and best results.
Sorted.
Do they have soy milk in Japan?
Easily book a multi-city trip yourself at Webjet.
Okay, let's go. We're going to be late.
The test of a really good thickened cream is the trip to Nan's house for Christmas lunch. And the cream that stands up to an Aussie Christmas is Bulla. Unfakeable.
Get together with Hungry Jack's Mega Feast Bundle with Pop and Chicken. Get 4 drinks, chips and sauce, 2 Whopper cheese, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 Chicken Royales and 20 Pop and Chicken for just $39.95 at Hungry Jack's.
The Nick Scali 3-day sale is on this Friday, Saturday, Sunday with 20 to 30% off the entire range. 3 days only, 20 to 30% off the entire range at Nick Scali.
Nothing turns a happy bear into a grumpy one faster than a bad night's sleep. So we invented Happy Sleep. We know it works, and so do most bears we asked. The others, we couldn't wake up. Happy Sleep for a happier world.
At Woolworths, we believe it's the little things that make Christmas special. And to help you spend less, sweet, juicy Australian raspberries 125 grams are a great fresh special at just $3 a punnet. That's today's fresh food people.
Who are you?
Sean Connery in the most blinged up Bond ever. Diamonds Are Forever. Tonight on 9Jam.
A man has managed to escape without injury after a house went up in flames in Truganina this morning. 40 firefighters responded to the blaze that started on the ground floor of the two-storey home and quickly spread to the second level. A car in the garage was also destroyed. Investigators are yet to determine a cause of the blaze, but it is being treated as suspicious. And detectives are looking into another incident of suspected arson in Reservoir. Emergency services were called to reports of a small fire at a construction site in Story Road this morning. It's believed the blaze had been lit and extinguished overnight. The extent of the damage is unknown. One of Victoria's biggest gymnastics groups could be forced to close, with rent at its outdated facility soon expected to skyrocket by hundreds of thousands of dollars. As Eliza Rugg reports, Cheltenham Youth Club is pleading with its local council to help find it a new home.
Athletes at the Cheltenham Youth Club are aiming high and they're hitting the roof, literally.
It's pretty scary jumping, like being able to hit the roof, so I've just got to minimise how high I jump.
Brock Batty and Kate McDonald are two of the club's elite athletes.
I also train in another gym twice a week so I can get some touches on other equipment that we don't have here.
Their home club is a commercial warehouse in Brayside that's no longer fit for purpose for the more than 1,100 members.
No aircon, no heating. It is extremely hot in the summer and that's really limiting as well. Sometimes we actually have to close.
The future of the not-for-profit club is in jeopardy. When the current lease ends, the rent will go up by more than $100,000.
We might be able to do it for a bit, but it's not going to keep us open. The biggest risk for us is closure.
That would devastate families like the Bars, who've been part of the club for generations.
It's been wonderful to come back here with my own children and watch them experience gymnastics for themselves.
Membership is made up of 75% females, encouraging young girls off screens and into sport.
You learn how to be persistent and resilient and how to make friends.
It's also a welcoming place for athletes of all abilities, including Charlie, who lives with Down syndrome.
I like to socialise and I like to get fit.
This club is all about community and members say they're willing to do whatever it takes to stay together, including helping with fundraising to go towards the costs of building a new facility. The total bill would be in the millions of dollars to meet location and height requirements. Kingston Council says there are no existing council assets that align with this type of use. Not the news these athletes want to hear, but they don't quit easily. Eliza Rugg, 9 News.
Famous faces have joined thousands of fans on the streets of Dublin to farewell Irish music legend Shane MacGowan. The Pogues singer-songwriter died last week, aged 65. Celebrities including Nick Cave paid tribute, along with Johnny Depp, who was best man at MacGowan's wedding, Depp acting as pallbearer. When fire ravaged one of the world's most recognisable landmarks in 2019, it was feared 850 years of history could be lost. But today, good news. French President Emmanuel Macron has confirmed Notre Dame is back on track to reopen on schedule. Brett McLeod with the story.
The French president had reason to feel on top of the world, getting a view from Paris that a few years ago many feared had been lost forever, from the just-installed new spire on top of the Notre Dame Cathedral, the crowning achievement in restoration work so far. When fire ravaged the 860-year-old landmark in 2019, The spire symbolised a loss that was felt around the world. While electrical fault is considered the likely culprit for the blaze, no definitive cause has been established and may never be. The embers were still smouldering when Macron vowed the cathedral would be rebuilt within 5 years, a timeline many were sceptical about. Now he says all is on track to have the public reopening a year from this weekend. It's a great image, he says, of hope, of a France that can rebuild. During his visit, the French leader helped inscribe the name of the general who oversaw the reconstruction and passed away in August. And he announced a contest to replace 6 stained glass windows in the nave with more contemporary ones. The painstaking reconstruction work has to date cost over $1 billion. The speed and dedication to returning the icon to the heights of her former glory, inspiring. Brett McLeod, 9 News.
After the break, the day's auction results as a Bond Beach beauty goes for a song, almost. Also, the Geelong school giving students the option of a 4-day week. And the intruder dressed as a cowboy who committed a crime against wine.
The survivors of the SeaWorld helicopter tragedy.
The whole front of your helicopter's gone.
It's not screaming, it's gonna blow.
Plus, the incredible women aging stronger and more powerful than ever.
We have to make older cool.
60 Minutes, Sunday.
You gotta give what you take.
Freedom doesn't wait.
Libre, the original Eau de Parfum and the new Absolute Platine, Yves Saint Laurent.
My store. See the world as you have never seen it before at the BBC Earth Experience. Narrated by David Attenborough, this is the perfect gift for everyone this Christmas. New summer tickets have just been released. Book today.
Great fragrances and great prices only at Chemist Warehouse. Give CK Euphoria for Women 100ml $59.99. Bulgari Man Wood Neroli 100ml $89.99. And Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male 125ml $84.99. Shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
The Nick Scali 3-day sale is on this Friday, Saturday, Sunday with 20 to 30% off the entire range. 3 days only, 20 to 30% off the entire range at Nick Scali.
Looking to save on your household bills? Then stack your energy, internet and mobile with AGL Stack and Save to unlock amazing credits and discounts. See how much AGL Stack and Save could save you.
Oh, babe. Hey, kid! Hey, you like this suburb? You got a lot of friends? I mean, the neighborhood, it's good for kids, right?
You can leave anytime you like, mate.
What's the median house price?
Yeah, he's going to know the median house price.
Maybe he's good at math.
You don't happen to know the median house price of... Yeah. Don't talk to any more kids.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah.
Know everything about an area with Suburb Insights. Domain. Know what we know.
The Cherry SUV sale event is on now. Great offers across the entire 2023 SUV new vehicle range. With the latest in design and technology, there's never been a better time to buy. Offer ends soon. Book a test drive today at cherrymotor.com.au.
This summer at Macca's, value means more than ever. Like our loose change menu, which now comes with a lot more sharing. There's also more family time, thanks to the Macca's bundle range. And rewards and deals every week on the My Macca's app mean more reasons to treat yourself. Whatever it means to you, value means more at Macca's.
This week's auction results now, and 475 properties were sold. That's according to Domain, which is part owned by Nine. It's a clearance rate of 57.7%. This Glen Iris house was the most expensive, boasting 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It fetched more than $4.5 million. The most affordable was this boat shed on the sands of Bond Beach. The beach box sold for $310,000. Some Victorian high schools are edging closer to a 4-day week, with the Catholic Boys College giving senior students the option to leave early and study at home. As Madeline Spark discovered, the flexible learning timetable is being rolled out next year.
For Year 12s at St Joseph's College in Geelong, the timetable's getting a trim.
For me, on a Monday, I can leave after 11 o'clock. I can head home and do my study from home. And on a Wednesday afternoon, I can also leave just after 1 o'clock.
There's the potential some students won't even need to attend on Wednesdays, working from home instead.
It's about consolidation and flipped learning, which they'll be able to access online. And for those students, they may have specific reasons why they work best at home.
The changes will suit Deputy Captains Kane and Jude.
I know some people find it pretty hard to study at school because they're with all their friends and they get distracted often. But having that study time at home can be, really helpful for other students to get things done on time.
Likewise, aspiring golfer Ted Sargent.
It gives me extra time to practice when I need to, and also outside of that when I've got obligations.
The shake-up has come after 3 years of research, with staff reassuring they won't be skipping on curriculum.
A VCE unit requires 50 hours, so we make sure that we can accommodate the 50 hours.
While the real timetable test will take place next year, it's hoped the flexible schedules will prepare students for tertiary education, where they'll have to be even more self-motivated.
We do know that there are other schools who are doing similar kinds of things, but it's important for us that it be contextualised to suit this community.
Not everyone will take the early leave though. There'll still be the option to stay.
It's nice and quiet in the library. You don't have to curl up in your bed at home. It keeps it a bit more, keeps you in the school vibe.
Madeline Spark, 9 News.
Relief tonight for young Australians living with painful and incurable juvenile arthritis. The first oral medication of its kind has been listed on the PBS. That's been slashed in price by thousands of dollars. This report from Fiona Willan.
On a good day, Jacob Harley is the life of the playground. But at just 4.5 years old, his health goes up and down.
I'll meet you on the top.
I think the hardest thing is definitely seeing him in pain and worrying that he's not going to get the same chances as all the other children his age because of his arthritis.
About 3 years ago, he developed inflammation in his knee, which soon spread.
Pretty much all his joints were involved. They were red and swollen. He was in so much pain we couldn't get his clothes on and off, so he was just screaming and crying.
The diagnosis was juvenile arthritis.
It is a condition where effectively our body's own immune system decides to attack and to cause inflammation of our joints and sometimes other organ systems as well.
Juvenile arthritis is the most common chronic disease affecting Australian children, and it's painful. It limits their ability to play sport and just to play in the playground.
While there's no known cure, there are medications to help control the inflammation, most requiring regular injections. But Jacob has recently gained access to a new oral medicine via a special program.
Wow, that's made a huge difference to Jacob and to us, because having to inject him with 2 different needles every week was agonising.
And now it could make a difference to many other children too, because the drug tofacitinib has this month become widely available via the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme.
It seems to be very effective. It seems to be very good at switching off the inflammatory process and keeping it switched off.
The listing is expected to benefit more than 1,000 children, reducing the price of the drug from nearly $16,000 a year to a maximum of $30 a script. Jacob's mum hopes it will help make life easier for other parents struggling to give injectable medications and other children living with arthritis.
Giving our children the kind of life that every other child has and the opportunities that they have with not having pain and not being defined by their arthritis.
Fiona Willan, 9 News.
A wine thief dressed as a cowboy is wanted by Washington police after hitting a family-run business. Captured on CCTV, entering with an employee code, he destroyed enough wine to make 21,000 bottles. Most of it was Christmas stock, leaving the owners more than $500,000 out of pocket. Now returning with sport, Alicia Muling.
Thank you so much, Pete. Up next, good signs at Tullamarine as an injured Sam Draper sets his sights on round 1. Also, another famous chapter for the Healy family and a golden start to the season for Scotty James.
the American hotshot, setting the tennis world on fire. Can he take out the Australian Open?
Welcome to the big time, Ben Shelton.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
As a first-time investor, Terry Shear provides the security I need.
With Terry Shear, we're more comfortable about our investment property.
Landlord insurance for just $1.50 or less per day. Get a quote, call Terry Shear or go online.
Get ready with Dyson using our patented technology. Dry, curl and shape. Smooth and hide flyaways. Style on the move. Give the gift of invention. In special edition blue blush.
The Cherry SUV sale event is on now. Great offers across the entire 2023 SUV new vehicle range. With the latest in design and technology, there's never been a better time to buy. Offer ends soon. Book a test drive today at cherrymotor.com.au.
At Plush, save up to 30% off everything during the 3-day sale. Up to 30% off everything. This Friday, Saturday and Sunday only at Plush.
Think so fast, think Plush.
Life is good. Hey, is what it's all about. Life is good.
The healthier, tastier snack from Arnott's. New Arnott's Snack Ride. It's all good.
The E&S White Goods sale is on now. This festive season, purchase selected washers, dryers, fridges, freezers or dishwashers from LG, Westinghouse, Electrolux, Mitsubishi, Fisher & Paykel, Haier and Bosch, and receive a bonus Visa card up to $500. Plus get free delivery and removal of your old appliance. Our consultants are white good experts and we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 9 showrooms today or shop online and get the E&S feeling.
The federal government's same job, same pay law means that subcontracting work, essential for tradies and builders, will be less flexible, making building more expensive. And when building is more expensive, housing and renting becomes more expensive. Let's find a better way.
Authorised by Danita Warren, Master Builders Australia, Canberra.
Daisy, Marc Jacobs.
Don't miss this energy deal. Get 21% less than the Victorian default offer on your electricity when you switch to Energy Australia's Flexi Plan. Hurry, offer ends December 12. Switch to Energy Australia today on 133 466.
Set sail on a 2-for-1 Norwegian Arctic expedition from $13,999 for 2 people, including flights. Seek out the Northern Lights, discover Norway's breathtaking coastline and more. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
To you and yours, have a wonderful Christmas.
This sports report brought to you by Sportsbet. Celebrate great mate moments with Sportsbet. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Essendon captain Zach Merritt says his midfield will need to make sacrifices next year to ensure the development of key baby bombers. As Joshua Dorr reports, it's among a number of positional changes planned by Brad Scott in his second year as coach.
Motivation would usually be hard to find on a damp December day, but here there's plenty of reasons for the Bombers to be buzzing.
Feels not new, but it feels like we've got some really good stability across the board, but also some fresh ideas, fresh faces.
The familiar faces, like Elijah Sardis, are also reason to be excited, having bulked up during the Arizona training camp.
I think we've been using filters on our Instagram for some of those boys. I think he's put on 5 or 6 kilos. You can see it across his whole body. So see him, maybe I'm bullish, but super excited what Durham has returned like. He looks really strong.
And in order for them to flourish, Zach Merritt knows his experienced midfield needs to make room.
It'd definitely be me as well. We're going to have to give and take. I think we've got probably 6 or 8 guys now that we want to build to be elite players. I think we need to give the space for those guys to grow as well.
Brad Scott also revealing to members he'll shift the magnets in defence.
We're certainly looking at some options to provide a bit more bounce out of our back half.
And while Essendon is keeping coy on any finals expectations, there's clear desire to bridge the gap to the best.
I've seen Dane Zorko talk about their ability to evolve. They're a great team and have been for 5 years. We're not at that level, so no doubt we'll need to keep evolving.
Less talk, more action, and I think in the long run that'll make our members much happier.
Sam Draper completed his third running session since groin surgery.
I don't want to put too much pressure on it. I want to be 100% and feel good for the whole season. So, we'll see when that is, but definitely aiming for round one.
Santa dropped into Hawthorn's family day as top draft pick Nick Watson showed off his gifts in the wet. Chankwath Jath remains on light duties ahead of next month's trip to Qatar, hoping orthopaedic experts will fix his persistent calf and Achilles issues. Joshua Dawn, 9 News.
The fire still burns for Mitchell Starc, despite the Aussie paceman entering the twilight years of his career. And today, the veteran was quick to downplay suggestions the upcoming summer could be a fizzer. Nat Ioannidis reports.
Mitchell Starc was repping the magenta today, but from tomorrow it's all about the baggy green as he gears up for his first game since Australia's World Cup heroics.
The body knows what time of year it is. We're well rehearsed in quick turnarounds or from one tour to the next or, coming off the back of something into a summer.
Certainly enough time to rest and celebrate their upset win in India.
Maybe not celebrate the way Trav did, but the fire still burns to keep winning trophies, keep winning series in all the formats for everyone.
That starts with the upcoming Test series against Pakistan. Despite suggestions, Australia won't be challenged this summer.
I think every Test summer's exciting. We're here to win Test series and we make no apologies for playing good hard cricket.
Starc sat out the Sixers' 8-run win over the Renegades last night as Steve Smith warmed up for the Perth Test in style.
And again, that was right in the slot. Help yourself, Steve Smith.
Smith hit 61 runs off 42 balls in what will be a rare Big Bash appearance this season.
Hopefully the guys can keep playing well and get there at the end of the tournament.
Pakistan's preparations for the first Test ended early. The tour match against the Prime Minister's 11 called off after the covers blew off during a wild overnight storm.
The pitch, as you've seen on the footage, is wet. The surrounding is wet. We've got a Test team that we don't want to cause any injuries to the Test team.
Nat Ioannidis, 9 News.
Australia's women's cricket team has ushered in a new era with Alicia Healy officially unveiled as captain. The keeper replaces longtime skipper Meg Lanning after serving as acting skipper for the past year.
The fact that I'm 33 and had a really, really long career and something still excites me in the game, I think I'm really privileged to stand here and say that. So whatever the challenges might bring over the next little period, I'm really excited for it.
The Aussies depart for their tour of India on Wednesday. The NBA has broken its silence over the Josh Giddey allegations. Commissioner Adam Silver defending the decision to let the Australian play on, while the league and California police investigate accusations he had an inappropriate relationship with a minor.
I think if you look back, I can't think of many circumstances where we've suspended a player based on an allegation alone. We then take a back seat, and that's where things currently stand.
Giddey put up 9 points and 9 rebounds today as the Thunder prevailed by 2 points over Golden State in overtime. Melbourne young gun Oscar Piastri has capped off a stellar debut season in F1. The 22-year-old awarded the FIA's Rookie of the Year at a lavish ceremony in Azerbaijan.
If we can start next year how we've finished this season, then we'll be in good shape. But it's been a massive team effort, big turnaround.
The McLaren driver finished the year with 2 podiums and his first sprint race victory in Qatar. And Australian world champion Scotty James has kicked off the half-pipe season in style, winning gold at the Snowboard World Cup in Beijing. The 29-year-old set the standard early with a spectacular first run, blitzing the field at last year's Olympic half-pipe venue. And Pete, that's sport. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much, Alicia. And Maddie's back now with more on the weather. Expecting much more rain, do you think, Maddie?
Well, Pete, the radar is looking pretty full on at the moment, but the band is starting to clear from Melbourne now. There'll be the odd shower or two lingering, but they won't dampen our Sunday too much. I'll have the full forecast after the break.
Remember this face? No? What about this?
Ah, shut up in your face.
A worldwide phenomenon.
People say I should feel ashamed, but I think it's a great song.
40 years on, Joe Dolce wants another hit, this time in the kitchen.
Salute.
A current affair next.
If you're sneezy, runny or hay fevery, we've got your nose. Gentle yet effective, preservative-free, used daily. Breathe freely with Flow.
Get twice the vitamin C power Garnier Day and Night Serums. Our #1 brightening serum, minus 43% dark spots. The new 10% vitamin C night serum. Wake up to brighter skin from the first morning. By Garnier, naturally.
Trade in your old mattress and receive a minimum of $300 for your old double, queen or king size mattress. That's right. Trade in your old mattress and receive a minimum of $300. Plus, we will deliver your new mattress and take away and recycle your old mattress. Bevmarks, the sleep professionals. Better sleep, better life.
UV cameras show the true effects of the Australian sun. A child's skin is more sensitive to UV rays. New Nivea Sun Kids Ultra Protect and Play. Gentle on skin and sand resistant. For your child's protection, Nivea Sun Kids.
Want to grow your small business into a big business? Nine Ad Manager lets you buy advertising campaigns on Nine Now, Australia's most watched free streaming TV platform. Create your campaign, choose the audiences and postcodes you want to target, and then track how it performs. You can even create your own video ad, all for only $550. Turn your business into a household name. Go to 9admanager.com.au.
But the moment when you've just got to laugh. And the moment you realise, Gran's got skills. Smith's, for the moment you're in.
Let's hit it.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
B, now even tastier.
At Plush, save up to 30% off everything during the 3-day sale. Up to 30% off everything. This Friday, Saturday and Sunday only at Plush.
Think so fast, think Plush.
At Woolworths, we believe it's the little things that make Christmas special, like sweet treats to share. And to help you spend less, Cadbury Favourites 520 grams are a great special at just $11 each. Save $11. That's half price. That's today's fresh food people.
Unwrap the world with TripAdeal's 12 deals of Christmas and save up to $1,000. Book your next trip to Asia, Europe, Africa and more and save. Hurry, sale for a limited time only. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
Next week on Today, Santa is giving us permission to keep spreading the Christmas joy.
We won! No way! We're so glad we could send this money your way.
They can have whatever they want. They can get whatever they want.
We love surprising you, so now we are giving away $30,000 of Samsung goodies. See you from 5:30 on Monday.
Hello again. It's been a wet and dreary start to the weekend. Showers arrived in the city during the early hours. There's been 13 millimetres in total. And the temperature's been another reason to stay indoors. It only peaked at 18 degrees this morning, but it's been around 16 since lunchtime. Around town, overnight showers delivered totals of 2 to 8 millimetres. There were 9 at Ferny Creek and a further 12 there since 9 a.m. as a band of rain formed. And it's been a rainy Saturday in Avalon with 17 millimetres falling there. You can see on the radar those showers streaming in from the state's northwest. They have been heaviest up in the Wimmera with totals of 20 to 30 millimetres. There's a few storm cells sparking up at the moment in the far east and also one near Bendigo. Tomorrow, the main band will contract away from us. It should be mostly over the South Australian border, while in the country's far northeast, Tropical Cyclone Jasper is currently moving toward the Queensland coast. It's expected to weaken to a Category 3 and is still on track to reach landfall between Townsville and Cooktown on Wednesday. That area does include Cairns, but it's going to be dry and calm there tomorrow, 34 degrees. And after a sweltering top of 40 today, Sydney can expect a much more manageable top of 26. Back home, there won't be anywhere near as much rain about as today, just a millimetre or two for most. Wodonga can expect the highest temperature at both ends of the day, a low of 19 and a top of 35, warming up to the low to mid-30s right along the Murray. Elsewhere, Bendigo should reach 27 degrees and the high teens and low 20s through the south, a bit warmer at Orbost, a top of 25. Here in Melbourne, showers are starting to weaken and they'll continue to back off as the night goes on. Any lingering showers tomorrow will be light and it's dropping down to 13 or 14 degrees around the suburbs and then maximums of 21, 22 and 23. Geelong is heading for 20 degrees with a few millimetres in the city. It should drop to 14 overnight before a top of 21 and just a millimetre most likely in the morning. It is going to become a humid start to the working week. A bit showery on Monday, a possible afternoon storm and 23 degrees, jumping back up to 29 on Tuesday. A windy top of 34 on Wednesday with up to 7 millimetres of showers and the chance of a storm. Lingering on Thursday, 27 degrees, 21 with a morning shower on Friday. Then we should get our first dry Saturday of the month next week with a top of 23. Tomorrow will be overcast with a shower or two in the morning after low of 14. The city's up to 21, Pete.
OK, thank you, Maddie. And Melbourne, that's what's news this Saturday. Deb Knight next with a current affair. Enjoy your evening and good night.